Teamster Power 767 Reality Check with Jeff Schenfeld and Garfield Hooper.
Hope everyone's doing well today. Today we want to talk about one specific thing. There's in future podcasts we're going to be talking about all of seniority with a feeder driver here and a part timer. We want to get all that done, but there is one section that was added to the current contract that I got to tell you, no good. You agree?
Oh, yeah. And as a matter of fact, it's just like one sentence in a part of the Article 48. It's part of Article 48, Section 2, loss of seniority.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and read the whole thing, just from top to bottom. I'll let you know what's new. Seniority shall be broken only by discharge for cause, voluntary quit, layoff for a period of 3 years from the last date of employment, failure to respond to notice of recall, unauthorized leave of absence, or if the employee fails to report for work for 3 consecutive working days, does not properly notify the employer by the beginning of their starting time on the 3rd day. Unless otherwise prohibited by state or federal law, an employee's seniority shall be broken when they have reached maximum medical improvement from an on or off the job injury or illness, if at that time they still cannot perform the essential work functions of their job. This provision shall not affect the employee's rights under Article 14.3. Now, Jeff, what is the new sentence that we have a lot to talk about?
So the new sentence is, or if the employee fails to report to work for 3 consecutive working days and does not properly notify the employer by the beginning of their starting time on the 3rd day. Now, I don't even know. When I saw that language, I was like, so we're giving the company ammunition, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what isn't that what you thought?
Yeah. So I was at the contract review meeting when Dave pointed this out. And when he read this, he pointed it out. Nobody asked him. He brought it up. This was one of the things that the company wanted in the contract. One of 2 things they wanted in our Southern Supplement. I don't remember what the other thing was, but that was one of them.
Huh.
And this one stuck out to me. Yeah, we gave it to him. I don't know what we got in return. Maybe it was that year, that extra year on the 3 weeks of vacation.
Oh yeah, from 10 to 9. Oh my God, that was well worth it, right? No, not at all. Oh my God, God Almighty.
Okay, so, go ahead.
No, it's just I can't believe we would give him something like this. I mean, you're going to give them another reason to be able to to fire us, yet we were given nothing to hold them accountable for doing the stuff that they do.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, I mean,
it seemed a little weird to me.
I've met toddlers with more accountability than the management in these buildings, but
absolutely.
The issue that I have with this is like you are giving the company carte blanche to fire somebody if something happens. Like, thankfully, our job pays us a pretty good amount of money. Feels like a lot less these days than it used to, but people. I know a lot of drivers that ride motorcycles. I know a lot of drivers that take a lot of vacations, go on cruises, go to foreign countries. What happens if you have a motorcycle accident? You have, maybe you don't have a family member that notices or that knows that they need to contact your supervisor or your center manager, and you're laid up in the hospital. Maybe you're in a coma. Maybe one of 100 things could have happened. But, those 3 days go by and you don't contact, well, you're gone. So now the second week you're in the hospital, now you don't have insurance.
Yep.
And now the company can say, sure, the company might be like, oh man, that sucks. Here, we'll rehire you or we'll put you back on or whatever. But like, if you're somebody that, a member of management doesn't like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that members of management don't play favorites.
Yeah.
They don't try to fire people that they don't like or treat people differently that they don't. We all know it happens. We see it. But now that person has to go to the union and say, well, I need, while they're in the hospital bed, possibly fighting for their life. You know, they may never be able to do this job again, but right now they need to recover. And now they have to call and say now they've got to get the union involved to try to get their job back so they can have insurance.
Yeah. Well, and I just want to say something. I just want to clarify something too. When they say loss of seniority, it means you're fired.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's it. That's very clear. Loss of seniority means you're fired.
Yeah.
And when I was speaking with a member of the negotiating committee, they said that there'll be language in there where if someone was hurt or this and that. Now, I looked at the language. Do you see anything?
Not that I can see.
No. So now it becomes a hassle, right? It becomes a hassle because we gave them something else, and you know, let's say they're out of money and this and that, and you know they're out. I mean, so many things because the company wants to keep them out for however long, and they missed the panel. It's got to go to the next month, or the labor manager doesn't want to, settle this. They want to take this. They really want to make it difficult. I mean, look what they've given them. Look what they gave them.
Yep.
And why did they give it to them?
I certainly don't think we got anything in this supplement that was worth that. I don't think any language, to be perfectly clear, any language is worth that. But we didn't get anything remotely close to that.
No. And so, now there's got to be precedent-setting cases where, so it's got to be heard for the first time. This has to happen. Just a bunch of different things. It's new language. Now we have to go into it. But now, so think about this. Next contract, they want to expound on this. They want more, the company, right?
Yeah.
But if this was never in there, they would never be able to do that.
Yeah.
It would just be still trying to get this type of language. But now they're going to want to go further. And we gave them this. And
there's no telling how many people will lose their jobs because of this sentence in the southern region.
No, that's absolute.
And I've heard plenty of people want to say that, oh, well, if you can't contact a member of management at your building in 3 days, then you deserve to lose your job. But it is, as far as I'm concerned, that doesn't need to be the stance of a Teamster. And it certainly doesn't need to be the stance of a leader in Teamsters.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. But yet it happened, right?
Yeah.
It happened.
And now this will be something we have to fight to get rid of.
Exactly. Another thing we have to fight. Not, putting anything back on the company, because the company's going to do the same thing. They're going to get away with doing this. Some of the things. I mean, we got to hold them to things every single day, but there's no recourse for them lying. There's no recourse for them doing certain things. Oh, we'll just move them around to a different building, or we'll slap them on the wrist. Why wasn't there why wasn't there language mirroring with whatever happens to us can happen to management? Nothing.
No.
And that's frustrating. That's frustrating. So, so the company can basically do what they want and make us fight everything to get rid of this stuff. Some of this stuff that shouldn't even, this discipline that shouldn't even be there.
Yeah.
And I don't mind a good fight. I know you don't mind a good fight, but why should we have to have these fights, right? Why should we have to go through this?
This shouldn't be a fight someone has to go through.
No.
This shouldn't be a fight the union has to go through. We are making it easier for them to get rid of people. And that shouldn't be the case. Like, if they want to fire somebody, they should have just cause. They should go through the process, and they should do it. And now we've just given them... And also, say something does happen. Say you are in the hospital or whatever, and your loved one picks up the phone, and not even your phone, their phone or whatever, and texts somebody that says, oh, hey, he's had a bad accident. He's not going to be able to make it to work. Just wanted to let you know, this and this. All that supervisor, if they don't like that person, all that supervisor has to do is delete it. Oh, I never got anything.
Yeah. I mean, it's
don't think for a second there aren't members of management that would do that. I would even go so far as to say there are probably more of them that would than wouldn't.
Oh yeah. And for whatever reason, and I don't really care what their reason is, they do it. And it's just, and we got to expect a good portion of them to do things like that. But again, we were put in harm's way, and that's part of this historically mediocre contract. So I just, wow, this is not something that's going to be talked about once or twice.
Yeah.
This is going to be something that's going to constantly come up because it's already a problem.
Somebody will have to take this to this. Yeah. This sentence will cause a national panel at some point in the next 5 years. I'm certain.
Absolutely. Oh, it will.
If there's not one already on its way there.
Absolutely. So but
Article 48 is a big article, a lot of points to make, and we're going to talk about more of that in a future podcast. But we both felt strongly enough about this section and this sentence that we felt we needed to dedicate a podcast to talking about it. So,
absolutely. Very important. So, again, I'm Jeff Schenfeld.
And I'm Garfield Hooper.
Have a good day.
Our experiences deal largely with the Southern Region Supplement. This is just an information podcast, and if you have questions, it's best to contact your local steward or business agent.
And remember, strong people stand up for themselves, but the strongest people stand up for others.